Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Abdel from Ratio Trading here, and I want to take a look at the markets here. Specifically, I just want to do mostly a video on updates from our last video, which was long both Tesla and Amazon. So a couple of days ago, we got long Tesla on a pull down to this area right here. So if you haven't seen the video on why we got long Tesla, just look at the last video, and it's about 10 minutes long actually, explaining why we got long Tesla, why we got long Amazon. Both are signals that told us to go long based on fibs, and you can see here that we bought right around high 180s to low 190s. So some people told me that they bought like 187. Someone told me they got in as low as 185, which I think was the lowest point here. A couple people said they got in around 190, 191. So we bought here. Again, the reason why we bought, you can refer to the last video, but the reason why we bought, the main reason, you can see from the last swing low to the latest swing high, retracement right into that 50 to 618 area. Pierces right through the 50, buy signal right away, previous structure resistance, anticipated support there. Okay, so in this scenario, we buy. We have a stop below here. I've got a stop at 164 right now, and I'm looking for a move right around 220. The reason 220, we take our fib again, high down to the low there, and you can see that 50% retracement is around 2.25. So that's the first target that we're looking for. Tomorrow being Friday, it's gonna be important to see how it closes. I needed to remove all that. So if the market closes strong, let's say it manages to get above 200 on the close, I think that's a significant reversal candle there, and we'll probably see some upside going into next week. Given how quickly Tesla tends to move, I don't expect this initial first target again, which is around 2.25, to take much longer than a few weeks. It could even happen next week, but I would say anywhere between 1 to 3 weeks, I would expect it to happen. So I'll be watching to see if we can attain that. If we do, we'll take half of our position off and look to see if it can continue up. If you're not in this trade, I would not chase this trade at this point. At this point, the only way I get in this trade is if it comes down over the next few trading days. If that happens, you can buy it. If it doesn't, I would not participate. I would wait for the next opportunity. All right. Amazon. Let's go there. Amazon, really nice ratio trade there. And again, if you don't know what a ratio trade is, you should think about or consider purchasing our trading course, which is like 10 hours long. It goes through a few trades, setups, the rules, all that good stuff. And in there, we talk very much about the ratio trade, which is a very, very powerful trade. Working out well so far. Got in around low 300s, 305 to 310. So far, doing well. Still a bit off from where we needed to be for first target. We're looking for right around 340. In that range. So again, tomorrow's close, if it stays like this or does better, that's very positive looking, and we could see a move into that area in the next couple of weeks as well. So looking good from that front. Trade setups, and again, trading is really mostly about just being patient. Most people think that trading is about being really smart or having some system that's better than everyone else's. It's not really. It's just about sticking to your rules and just doing it all the time. And when you do that, the opportunities will present themselves when they're there. You're not always going to get them. Sometimes you may go weeks, sometimes months, and there's just nothing that's good. But the patience always pays off, right? If you look at this chart for Amazon, this ratio trade took basically an entire year to happen, right? Almost a full year. Now we had a buy signal here, but look, once it rallied up, this takes a long time. So, but the rewards are there, right? If this goes from 300 to 350, that's not a bad return for doing essentially nothing, right? It's just being patient. So looking good. Couple other markets some of you guys asked about. Google. That's a new symbol. GOOGL. That's the one you want to trade now. That's looking interesting. So this low, high, you see it's retracing down. Had a pop this week, not looking very strong here. Now here's the thing: if this thing comes down to the 50 or 5618, there's not really any previous structure support, but there is something that's interesting, and a lot of people I don't think have noticed it, or at least the people who have emailed me, is this. So there's a really nice trend line, and that trend line happens to coincide with the 618. So if Google manages to get in this area right here, low 500s I'm looking for, I will be a buyer there because there's that trend line and it is right there at that 618. So this is an area in Google I'm very much looking forward to if it gets there. If it does, I'm a buyer, and we'll look to see if it can pop back up into mid 500s again. So this could be a nice trade, 10% return. We can play it with options. This is one that I'll probably look at with options, buy a few months out, buy like 550 calls. That could work out pretty well. Apple has earnings next week. A lot of people are paying attention to this. I'm waiting. So this has been hovering in this area for a long time. Two things are happening with this thing in the next, before the end of the year. We're either going to retest these highs or we're going to go back down here. I mean, this has been hovering in this area right here for about 6 months now. It does not know what it wants to do. And do you know why it doesn't know what it wants to do? Because after it bounced off of this 50%, so we go from the low to the high, you see right there, that was a nice buy. No different than what we did with Tesla, and no different than what we might do with Google. It popped up. It got our first target. We're at break even now, with a little bit of profits locked in. Now, guess where it is? It's right inside of high down to low. It's right inside that 50 to 618 area. That's why it's hanging out. It doesn't know what it wants to do. And something's got to give. Whether something's going to push this thing in a direction. It could be earnings next week. It could be product announcements later on. It could be a variety of things. But something before the end of the year, I believe, is either going to push this in the direction of up and a retest of 700s, or down into a retest of around 400s. That's what I believe will happen before the year is over. I'm obviously, I'd love for it to see it go up because we got long initially, so I'd like to see it continue moving up. But again, I can't say that it's going to do that. So the trend is up. We'll see what happens. We'll be patient and just follow our rules. All right. Real quickly, S&P looks like it's getting tired here. That's the monthly chart. Weekly chart, big pop today after a drop. Not much. Not much. I mean, big pop this week. You can see it came down. I mean, this is not surprising. Look where it stopped. All right, 50%. A couple people emailed me, said they bought some calls. Worked out. Very nice. Now let's see if it retests the high or if it's going to drop or what. Let's see. So that's about it. I'm watching these markets. There's a lot, I think, of tightness, and I think we're going to see some significant jumps and drops maybe over the next few months. Let's see what happens. So hope that helps. If you guys have markets or stocks or currencies or whatever you want to take a look at, feel free to ping me and let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time.